All right, so we are live. I'm Claude Harmon, taking over the Cobra Puma UK and Ireland Instagram today. And we're going to try and hopefully talk to the one and only Niall Horan. I've been watching Niall on his Instagram. I think a lot of people were. And hopefully he shows up with a shirt this time because I haven't seen him wearing a shirt a lot lately. But should be exciting. Big fan. It's been fun to watch Niall kind of go through and kind of see him at golf tournaments and stuff and see kind of how he has really become, I think, pretty influential in the game. And, it's cool to see people that, obviously are as crazy famous as Niall is, but, to actually get to see, is that him? Let's see if we can find him. Hold on. Struggling to, where is he? Is he there? He's not there yet. But it's been cool to see kind of how Niall, he loves golf, and there he is. There he is.
Oh my God.
Oh,
You've got a shirt on.
finally, huh?
I mean, every night I'm watching you strum your guitar. You've got no shirt on. Come on.
I mean, I've got nowhere to go, Claude, to be honest, so I don't really care what I'm doing.
I mean, it's crazy for me, and I travel a lot. For somebody like you, how crazy is this, you being stuck in one place like this?
Oh, it's nuts. I've even started wearing golf clothes just to make me feel like I might be anywhere near a course. Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, you know it well yourself, but I would have been on tour right now. I would have
I
actually,
know.
you would have been probably coming to my show the other night in Florida if you wanted.
Absolutely. We would have been all over it.
Of course. But yeah, it's a strange one. Now I'm just between the four walls of my apartment in London and going for a run when I can and working out in my balcony and yeah, it's just strange, isn't it? It's an odd one that we'll never see again. But listen, you got to take advantage of it in whatever ways you can.
I think in a lot of ways, for someone like you, also, you never get to stay in one place, so it can somewhat be a blessing. I know in talking to some of the tour players, they're like, listen, we want to get out and do stuff, but it's also been fun to be home.
Yeah, exactly. We don't really get to spend a lot of time at home. And I was just saying the other day that this is definitely the longest period of time that I've spent in one place in maybe 10 years. Even during time off, there's always something to come up, whether it be I'd have to go to, America for a meeting or of some sort and then bounce back, it's still a flight or whatever. So this is definitely the longest period I've spent at home.
I've got my 16-year-old daughter's at school doing homework online, but she still has the Nile poster up.
Yes, of course.
The old school Nile poster when you had the bleach blonde hair.
Oh, please, Todd, stop. And a terrible golf swing to match.
Yeah. So obviously, I remember, I think the first time I met you was 2015 at Augusta, when I think you were still back in One Direction and had my picture taken and was a hero in my house for my young daughter. But I remember you walking around Augusta National, and obviously you can't have any phones there. There's no autographs. And I remember thinking, watching you walk, you're walking from the clubhouse down the 18th hole. I said hi, and you walk on. And I remember thinking, this is probably the only place in the world where you can somewhat be normal. Has golf been a thing for you that has been a kind of an escape and a place there is somewhat normality in your crazy life?
Yeah, 100%. That's how I really got into it. I played a lot when I was a kid. Because I grew up in a small town. There's a golf course there. It's a very Irish thing to play golf, obviously. Yeah, we played a lot of golf when we were kids. Sometimes we would play like 36 holes a day. And then I kind of, after the band formed, I kind of didn't get to play for a while. And then we would go on tour. And, there was everywhere we went, there was a lot of press attention and just attention in general around the hotel. And we would sneak out and go and rent some clubs somewhere, and a couple of us, myself and Harry's a golfer as well. So we did.
Is he any good?
I'm not sure what he's like now. I haven't played him with him in a couple of years, but he was all right. He was getting there. Yeah, we were both about, 15 handicappers. I'd say I've dropped a few shots then. I'm not sure if he has. But yeah, we would just find that as a good release and get in behind the gates of a golf club somewhere, and then no one really knows where you are, and before you know it, you're obsessed with it.
I got this great image of you and Harry Styles playing golf with rental sets and bad golf clothes. Did you dress up and try and disguise yourself in bad golf clothes?
I'm still wearing bad golf clothes sometimes. But no, we would just do our best to keep our heads down. It's quite hard, you got parents, who want us to meet their kids, and by the time the round is finished, then there's like loads of kids at the clubhouse as we come up 18, and yeah, that's when it was a bit strange. But yeah, listen, well, that's how we get into it, really.
And now you're when you go on tour, do you take your golf clubs with you now?
Oh, I mean, I turn up to the airport, I look like I'm a musician, a golfer. I look like I'm going away for months, because I've got like my gym gear, my golf gear, my normal clothes, my guitar in this hand, my golf clubs and its travel bag on that side. So yeah, they go everywhere.
When's the last time you got to play golf?
As I arrived back in the UK about over a month ago, probably 5 weeks ago now, they were just about, I remember Trump came on TV and said that they were gonna close off European travel, and then that's when I left America and came back. And the day after I landed, golf courses were still open. So I think I got the last day in before they literally said, even golf, you can't social distance with. Yeah, and I'm a member at Wentworth, and went down to play a bit down there, and I was terrible because I haven't played in a while. But yeah, I miss it terribly.
You've been making any swings in the house?
Yeah, of course. I'm standing in the mirror. I've got your old man in my head telling me to open up my left foot. But yeah, I got a perfect putt. I see the boys have DJ, and I see a few of the boys have the perfect putting thing, and I've been kind of knocking a few putts there, and did a bit of chipping across my carpet. And
I mean, a baller like you haven't put a simulator in the house yet?
No room for it, man. I tried to. I actually, I tried to put a simulator in one of the rooms, but they said that the ceilings were too low. So
I mean, I've got to think if you buy a big LA mansion up in the Hollywood Hills, first thing you're doing is putting in a launch monitor simulator of all the stuff.
I mean, that could be next, back in LA.
When you were in LA, you you're a member at Lakeside?
Yeah, was just joining just before I left. I love it there. Great spot.
That place is so good. I think my dad's two younger brothers both were assistants there back in the day. And I think my godfather, I think his name was John Hayes. He was the head pro. I think he was my godfather. I think he was the head pro there.
No way.
Yeah, back in in the 50s and the 60s.
Are your family Californian?
Yeah, I was born in Palm Springs.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I was born in Palm Springs. I'm a native Southern Californian.
Yeah, Shaka, dude.
There you go.
Yeah, okay, that's amazing. Yeah, I love Lakeside. Great group of people. Great bunch of guys. And just like the course is always in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
And it's in a good spot, and I don't live too far from it, so it's great.
So why golf? I mean, what was it about golf as a young kid that made you? Was it just because you were in an area and everybody else played? But what did you love about the sport, and what do you still love about it?
I guess I was lucky. My dad's a huge sports fan, big soccer player. Didn't play a lot of golf himself. He just loves a lot of sports. Didn't play lots of them, but loves a lot of sports, and is quite knowledgeable general knowledge and sports. He's got one of those like facts guys. And we would sit and just watch European Tour golf. And I remember when I was a kid, like Tiger was just making his, I was 10, 11, 12 when Tiger was in his prime. And, winning all, when he was 2002, 3, that when he was just at his best and beating everyone and no one had a chance. That's when I started watching it. And my dad would bring me to the European Open at the K Club every year. And yeah, it was just it was one of those sports where we were like, my dad was a soccer fanatic, as we say in the States, soccer fanatic, and we would go to games all the time. But our other sport to watch and have a knockabout with was golf. And yeah, it was hard not to like golf when Tiger is. I mean, you look at the world's top 10 right now, I'd say they're all from my generation, and they all play the game because of Tiger. And I'm sure they'd say that, you know, JT, Ricky, any of them.
How much did you fanboy Tiger when you met him for the first time?
I'm not gonna lie, my heart was pounding. I was on the range at Augusta, just before I caddied for Rory, the par 3, and Rory goes to me, "Have you met Tiger yet?" I said, "No." You know, and I know I've known Rory for a long time at this point, and you know, realize that the caliber of golfer that Rory is. But you know, I'm sure when Rory met Tiger for the first time, he was a bit taken aback. But he said, "Have you met Tiger yet?" I said, "No, I haven't actually." And then he brought me over, and I pretended that I was really calm, and you know, do you know the usual golf range chat? How are you? Hope you're well.
Yeah.
Play well this week.
Yeah.
You know,
have a good week.
Yeah, have a good week. That kind of stuff, and then just kind of walked off. But have met him a few times since. But the first time I met him, I don't particularly get like starstruck by singers or actors or anyone in kind of arts, because I think we've got that common thing.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I found like when I had knee surgery, I did my rehab at Chelsea Football Club's training ground for 5 months. The day I walked in there, I thought it was Christmas, because they all want pictures of me because I'm a singer, and I wanted pictures of them because they're like professional footballers.
Absolutely.
Sports guys have always gotten me, and Tiger is, in my eyes, the number one. So, yeah, I was taken aback by that big time.
If you could trade places and be Tiger Woods or Rory McIlroy or Justin Rose, or keep who you are, would you trade places and be like a great golfer and win major championships?
Oh,
because I'm guessing your life is pretty good.
I mean, I'm one of the lucky ones, you know, in terms of the success that we've had over the years, and I continue to have. I'm one of the lucky ones, but God, I would love to stick on a green. I would love to put on a green jacket. And I actually was watching you talk to someone about it the other day. I don't know what it was. I think it might have been a recap on Sky Sports where you were talking about the first time you went to Augusta.
Yeah, when I went to the Masters.
Yeah.
Sebi was there, and like Byron Nelson, all the old school guys were there. I was just like, Sebi had the sweater over the shoulders, one of the coolest things I've ever seen. He had on like blue pants and like a white shirt and like a gray sweater, and he walked in and he said, "Hello, my name is Sebi." And he had the sweater on. I'm like, you are the coolest person on the planet.
I mean, I would have absolutely loved that. But it was lovely to hear even you talk about that, a man who spends so much time around golf, works and coaches some of the best players in the world, in some of the boys that we've mentioned. And yeah, to hear that you talking about that, because you come from a golfing family, and it's
you took a lesson from my old man, didn't you?
I've taken a few lessons off yourself. I've taken a few lessons off your dad. Yeah, no, he gave me. We were on the Ryder Cup Hazeltine, was it?
Yeah, Hazeltine. That's right.
Yeah, and I remember being on the range, and then someone came over to talk to me, or like someone like was moved their like tray of balls closer to mine or something. I kind of looked up a little bit, and I just had a look around, and I had DJ here, Ricky there, and then Jordan 2 down, and your dad came over, and you guys were all chatting to them, and then your dad gave me a bit of a lesson. And to be fair, that's one of the main things that I obviously still do. And I mean, if you get a pointer from Claude Harmon or from Butch, you're gonna take it, and Claude, to be fair.
So you've got the Augusta National jumper. I mean, you really have become like a part of what Augusta is every year. You've become a big part of the drive, chip, putt, the Augusta Women's National, or the amateur that played in. It's got to be cool for you to see all these young kids, because their reaction for you in a golf setting must just be amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible, and obviously watching Augusta my whole life and watching the Masters, just I can't believe it. I think this year was going to be my like 6th or 7th year in a row. It still blows my mind that I can say that I've walked through those gates, or driven through those gates, or even hit a ball there. It's just it's madness. So spending the time that I do there, they've really taken me under their wing and got me involved in some of the initiatives. As you say, drive, chip, and putt, and things like that. And it was just it's really cool to you turn up to a golf range to surprise some of these kids, that they react like that to you, and I'm like taken aback by their quality, and like how good a 7-year-old's swing from Arkansas is, and he's like, and she's just like you know,
How
didn't
did that
find
whole
it very
thing,
nice.
how did they come to you and kind of ask you to start being involved and become a part of what they're doing?
And the first year I'd come and I'd I don't know how, like, I think they'd kind of heard I was coming because obviously you have to go through a member and things like that. And they'd heard the social guys had heard, the social media guys had heard that I was coming. So I did a couple of little like like at the Masters on Instagram or something, little stories, and then got chatting to a couple of people there behind the scenes, the marketing people, and then they were asking me what I thought about certain little bits and pieces that they do, and then we were coming up with ideas and things like that, and just like slowly but surely. But I guess at the time, I was probably the perfect person for them, really.
Absolutely.
I was in the band, and we're always looking to grow the game, and I mean, if we can do it at Augusta National, then I'm in.
How many times have you gotten to play?
Oh, I feel so horrible when I say this. I've played it on maybe 5 or 6 occasions.
My grandfather won the tournament. My actual name, his name is on the trophy, and I've never played.
No,
I've never played.
I feel even worse. That makes me feel terrible.
What's the best score you've ever shot?
Oh, I was absolutely flying. I was probably having one of the rounds of my life. I was on for 79 and double bogeyed 18, stuck it into the trees on the right. And 79 would have been an absolute dream around there. To be honest, I'll take 81 because I got nowhere near there. It took a bit of experience. You need to know where to put the ball. But I mean, 79 was going to be probably one of my best rounds of all time, and to do it at Augusta wouldn't have been too bad. But I still, like, when I go there now, it still like gives me goosebumps, and like the things you notice about it that you didn't notice about it on TV, that everyone talks about, the undulation and how it looks like the grass is cut with a scissors, because it probably is, and things like that. They never get old. It's the only place that I've been. Just even anything, tourist attraction or a golf course or anything, that I can say that just continues to blow my mind every time I go, and I feel very lucky.
Yeah, you and Justin Rose have your foundation. You guys have raised what, like $2 million, all going to charity. I mean, I think that's why people see you as being a part of the game, because you're actually giving back to the game. You're using the game of golf to try and help people. You and Justin Rose are really good friends. How'd that happen?
Yeah, we got some mutual friends in Mark Mack and Paul Mack, as you know, yeah, and we just that's how I got to know Justin, through those guys, and then myself and Justin became really good friends as well, and we go away on vacation together and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just, I mean, you've met him. He's one of the nicest guys there is.
Yeah, Rosie's the best.
I don't know many people that can say a bad word about him. He's just so solid, well-rounded, funny, generous, smiling his face all the time, and an unbelievable golfer goes along with it. And yeah, then we decided that, like, I know he and his wife Kate, they have the Kate and Justin Rose Foundation, and they look after a charity in Florida there beside you. And yeah, we were just like, maybe we could do something together in the UK, and pull in some of the contacts that we know, and try and raise as much money as we can with some great auction prizes, and have our little foundation, the Horan and Rose, and yeah, we've used that. We do it biannually, so every 2 years, and we do a night, big, like, it's the most relaxed of those kinds of nights. It's like summer suits, and I performed one year, and a friend of mine, Ollie Murs, performed the next year, and yeah, we put on some really great prizes based on the contacts that we have. And yeah, we've raised, over the 2 nights, we've raised $2 million, or £2 million, I should say, which is pretty sweet. And yeah, it's just mad how you meet someone who happens to play golf, and then golf kind of does a full circle, and yeah, we have a golf day the next day, and yeah, it's a really cool thing that we get to do. And it's supposedly happened this year, again this year, but based on the new golf schedule, we will have to see.
And you've got a golf management company. I mean, of all the things that you thought you would have when you started out, in one direction, and you're going to be a superstar, did you ever think you'd have a golf management company?
Probably not. Yeah. God. Just a
Modest
golf
Golf.
club.
I mean, 4 years now. I mean, you guys have. I mean,
Yeah.
it's. I think when you started it and you started getting some players, I think everybody probably thought, hey, it's
Yeah.
it's it's a passion project, but Tyrrell Hatton winning Bay Hill. I mean, come on.
I mean, when I started it, like, it was a hard start, obviously, because who's going to take some fella from a boy band serious in terms of golf? Like, but I'd like to think I've got a bit more, a bit about myself, and I was willing to actually care and look after some of these young players, and we got a lot of players when they had zero ranking, and nearly all of our players, bar a couple, had zero ranking, and you hear horror stories of players not knowing where they're going to play on Thursday on a Tuesday afternoon and stuff like that. And I was like, that's, in my world, that's like unheard of. The flights and entering competitions and like
You've got people to do all that.
yeah. Well, I mean, we could I love the game, and I want to be involved in it in some shape or form. So yeah, we got some players, and obviously, trying to convince some young players who are being targeted by different management companies all the time why you're the best is sometimes the hardest thing to do. But we needed the players that did come with us at the start really believed in what we were saying to them, and it's turned out for the best, because I mean, we had 3 European Tour wins last year, and
I mean, Mark sent me some 10 wins across all tours over the last 14 months.
Yeah, it's
that's crazy.
Cool to get picture, to follow leaderboards on televisions and all the golf apps and see your players up there, in some shape or form every week, whether it be, now with Leona going on to LPGA when she was winning last year, and
that was
and
a
the
big
tour.
deal.
That was amazing. She was, I think she finished 5th in the Symetra Tour last year. We had the Challenge Tour wins, the 3 European Tour wins with the boys, Guido and Christian, and then this year was a big one. We said last year, myself and Mark and the team, we're only small. There's only 4 or 5 of us, and we were saying, we need to, for us to go to the next level, we need to get inside the top 50. It'd be great to be able to, knowing who we know and blah blah blah. So to sign Tyrrell Hatton last summer was amazing, and Tyrrell had come off the back end of a bit of a weird experience with his previous management company, and that's
what do you think you were able to tell him that kind of made him believe that going to you guys at Modest was the right move?
Well, Tyrrell's the kind of guy that needs a bit of love. Like he reacts to loving, and he just needs an arm around him. I mean, deals wise here and there, that'll be, if you're in the top 50 in the world, you've got a fair chance of getting yourself some money. You know what I mean? From some of the brands, and that's but we felt like we were good. We have there's a good family vibe within our group, and I don't know if you seen last week, we even did like a bake off. It was the Modest Golf bake off, where all the players. I mean, I did a terrible job, but we did. All the players got involved, and Tara was involved. There's a real family vibe there, and yeah, I will. When it comes to the money side of things, I'll put my neck on the line for Tyrrell, of course. And yeah, I just think he could feel the family vibe of the thing. We went out for dinner and had a proper chat with him. And we don't try and hard sell it like a business. It's more of like because I mean, at the end of the day, it comes from me. So I want it to feel. I don't want it to feel all businessy. And golf we're trying to make golf cool, not like corporated even more. And I think Tyrrell's seen that, and based on the players that we had at the time, I think he could see that as well. So for him to join, that was huge.
I also think if you're talking to somebody and you're talking to their parents, or you're talking about what it's like to have someone look after you, given what you've been through from the start of your career to where you are now, I mean, it makes perfect sense, believe it or not, to listen to someone like you. I mean, there's probably nobody more apt to talk about it based off of everything you went through when you were young and to where you are now.
And that's probably the reason why I wanted to start the company. I felt like I could, even though I was the same age as a lot of the guys that I was signing, I felt like I'd been through enough and a few life experiences, and worked with the corporate side of things, and worked with a great management company that looked after me, and I didn't have to worry about anything apart from going on stage. I felt like we had that in us, myself and the 3 other owners of Modest Golf. I felt like we had that in our, like, we had a social media team already. We had internal travel. We had, you know, things like that, that before you start a company, if you want to start a golf management company, they're the first things you need. You need to be able to tell people that you can get them starts, that you can sort their travel and do their social media, and straight away you've got ears around it.
Absolutely.
Because believe it or not, they're some of the easiest things. They sound like the easiest things, but the hardest things to achieve.
And they're probably some of the biggest things that you can mess up if you do them the wrong way.
Tell me about it. I've heard some horror stories.
So obviously we're on Cobra Puma's Instagram.
Yeah.
You've got some players. Leona McGuire signed to him. You've got some other players, Ben Stowe, you and Ferguson. What is it that you like about the brand? I mean, you work with a lot of brands, but I'm a Cobra Puma ambassador. But it's a cool brand. They're big into golf. They sponsor, you know, the Europro. You've got a bunch of players that come up through them. What do you like about their commitment to golf and how they're doing things?
It's crazy how big it's become, Cobra Puma. Watching, I guess the first one to turn the corner was obviously with them was Ricky. And
yeah,
Ricky,
sure.
every young kid, if you go to a PGA Tour event, you will
Did
see
you ever have one of the Ricky hats?
Yeah, the orange bill hat.
Of course you did.
But I mean, every little boy or girl was going around PGA Tour events dressed in head to toe in orange, and you know, and that was the Puma look and the Ricky Fowler look. And I guess it's kind of taken off from there. But since I've started the company, they were straight in, you know, wanted to support, believed in what we were doing, that we were trying to make golf cool, if you like, and so were they. And when you sit and speak to the guys, even doing things like this, you know, ahead of the game in some shape, in some ways, and just hearing the passion that you know, especially the two boys that run it on a daily basis, they've been unbelievable for us, and really good, you know, you and Ben, Leona, and you know, it's just and Kim, it's on all levels of the game. It's not like they're just shooting; they're going straight in.
Yeah, for sure.
A PGA Tour, as we say, or you know, this the idea for the Europro, the reason we wanted to support that, I think, was brilliant. So they have a Cobra, like a Puma Cobra league within the Europro, which is obviously a feeder tour to the Challenge Tour, and they have like a mini league where they've got, like, they pick 12 players at the start of the season, and whoever finishes, you know, the highest in that list, you know, we organize a couple of starts to the Challenge Tour. So we felt like, even though we didn't have to, you know, crazily associate, but it's not like I'm going around head to toe in Puma, but you know, like, I felt like that was a really cool initiative of theirs, and we felt that we wanted to support that. Me and Mark from the minute they said it to us, was just like, this is a no-brainer.
Have you ever played a round of golf in full head to toe orange like Ricky Fowler? You know you have.
Absolutely,
you know you have.
not. Tell you what, I've done some crazy stuff in my time, but I've never done the Ricky Fowler.
Brooks's caddy, Ricky Ellett, you know, Ricky from Portrush, who's got one of the best senses of humor. Every week on tour, we'll see some 40-year-old guy who's head to toe in the orange hat, the orange shirt, the white belt, and the orange pants. And he'll be on the range. We'll be walking, and Ricky will say to Brooks, "Hey Brooks, who do you think his favorite golfer is?" It's just every single week Ricky comes out with it.
No, it's unbelievable. But that's what, like, you need that. I mean, look at other brands with different signature looks. I mean, that's how you
definitely need it. And I think the great thing about Cobra Puma, and you found this out, is I think a lot of people look at Ricky Fowler and they look at the way he dresses and they think it's just all marketing. But when you look at what's actually behind the brand, and you look at what's, you know, the golf clubs and their commitment to being involved in the brand, you know, Bryson, you know, using the clubs. Now, have you tried one length clubs yet? That's the big thing.
Absolutely not.
Dude, I've been playing them for 3 years. I'll never go back.
What?
I've been playing one length irons for 3 years. I will never go back to regular irons.
Are you joking?
No, 100%. So I had back surgery about 11 years ago, and you know, when I do play golf, you know, it's not great on my body. So every time I would try and hit a longer golf club, you know, a 5-iron or a 4-iron, I couldn't get them in the air, and I'm always dropping back underneath it. So the fact that all of the irons are the length of a 7-iron, they're the easiest clubs in the world to hit. And once you actually try them, Bryson, I was talking to him like 3 years ago. He's like, "Listen, try them, go play golf with them. Tell me what you think. Give them like a real try." So I went out and I tried them. And I just took we had a demo set of like graphite shafted irons, and I took them, and every new set of golf clubs that, you know, Cobra comes out with, they send them to me. I put them against the ones I've been using, the one lengths on the launch monitor, and I hit them so much better. You've got to try it.
That's amazing.
It's so much easier because if you think about it, when you go to the range, if you were going to hit balls, what club would you hit balls with? You're probably going to hit balls with a 7 or an 8.
You got me there, 7 iron. Yeah,
right.
I like this. Yeah, it's my favorite sort of number. That one kind of 60.
Yeah. So,
there.
And if you think about it, the longer golf clubs, a 6 iron, a 5 iron, a 4 iron, they're harder to get in the air because you look down and you don't see a lot of loft and you start backing up. But because the 5 iron is the length of a 7, you'd be surprised. Believe it or not, they're so much easier to hit. You got to try them out.
Maybe Bryson's the one. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. What do they call him? The mad scientist.
The mad scientist.
Great guy, by the way. Love.
So I was talking to Mark yesterday. He said, "You're like." So now, obviously, with you being in management, you have got to watch a lot of golf. I know you watched a lot of golf already, but you've got to watch college golf. You've got to watch junior golf and stuff like that. So how much golf, when you're not performing and doing what you do for your day job, how much golf are you actually watching? You sit and watch Golf Channel, don't you?
Yeah. No, I do. I watch a lot of it. It's an easy watch. It's calming. There's some, obviously at the moment, it's probably the best time to watch golf because you're just getting major Sundays every day. Last Sunday was Rory's win at PO Island, the PGA Championship.
And they played last night on Sky. They played Rory playing the Players.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff at the moment. But yeah, when I'm in the States, Golf Channel is great, because you can get all sorts of golf. Ladies college golf, the ladies tour, men's college golf, you name it, you can watch it. I mean, in America you can watch like Little League baseball. You can, in terms of sports, they're all over it.
ESPN 8 the Ocho.
So I watch a lot of golf. Yeah, I'm big into it. I love American college golf. I mean, it's what a platform for some of these young guys and girls to get their starts on the PGA Tour. I remember watching some of the boys. Like, let me think. I remember watching the likes of a Matthew Wolf or a Colin Morikawa 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And,
have you seen Matt Wolf hit it in person?
No, I haven't. Yeah,
dude, it's so good. No. Dude, it's so good.
That snap is brilliant.
Oh, and it's the little kind of shimmy and stuff.
Yeah.
He played with Brooks right before the lockdown, and he's a really cool kid. He laughs a lot, and but I mean, when you watch it up close, the guy hits it so far. I mean, he just hammers it, and every swing is just flat out. Full. I mean, you live in LA. I can't believe you haven't gone down to Gigi's range and taken a lesson from him.
Yeah. Well, I've tried to get in touch with him. He seems to be a busy man out there. It's crazy. Whatever. I love those crazy swings I love those ones. The Furyks and the ones that just didn't look like they should be right. But I mean, as Matthew Wolf has said, and you've said to me on multiple occasions, you can do what you want. It can happen.
We've lost it. Now we got you.
Got me. Sorry, I was just saying, like, you can do what you want in the swing once the club is square when you hit the ball, and Matt Wolf is a perfect example of that.
Absolutely. Favorite golf courses? Obviously, Augusta's got to be one of them. But what are some of your favorite golf courses that you've gotten to play?
God, I've been lucky. I've played quite a few. Right, let me go through. I mean, experience-wise, St Andrews.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's just like
favorite course in Ireland.
Portrush.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I absolutely loved it. I know I've been going there quite a while. We know the head pro there, and God, it's stunning. That view down 5 is just incredible. Yeah, and hopefully they can get the Open back there pretty soon. It'd be nice to see.
I think a lot of the players last year, I mean, I talked to like 5 or 6 players saying, can we just play here every year? I mean, it was great. Going down to the port at night, it was amazing.
Unbelievable. Like in terms of like successful opens, it has to be up there. It was one of the fastest selling. Golf was flying in Ireland, all over the country. Obviously, then with Shane winning, he was
Oh, it was
wasn't
amazing.
wasn't bad for Irish golf, I suppose.
How good was it seeing Shane go directly from Portrush back in? He's drunk. He's got the shirt off. His caddy's drunker than he is. I mean, can you imagine being? I mean, that must have been a week-long bender.
Oh, 100%. No, I know Shane very well, and I know what he's like, and he loves his Guinness. And I'd say there was Guinness coming out of that claret jug for a while.
Have you had some Guinness out of the claret jug yet, Shane?
No,
Come
not yet.
on.
But it was good. No, it was good for me though, because Shane's from like 25, 30 minutes from where I'm from, easily, and we pretty much speak the same as well. People always say that, but it was just amazing to see. I love when there's obviously an Irish winner, and to be fair, over the last 20 years, we've had a lot of major winners,
for sure.
But to see Shane do it, and he was one of those players that, and it sounds like I said this ages ago, but for a long time I've been saying that swing and that short game are way too good not to at least contend at multiple majors.
The short game is, I mean, he can get up and down from underneath your car. It's a joke. It's a joke how good it is.
It's insane, and just how compact the swing is, and how smooth it is for a big guy is pretty amazing, and delight for him. It was amazing.
Do you think that having people like Shane to look up to, obviously when you were younger, you were looking up to golfers. I mean, it's got to do amazing things for golf in Ireland to have all these great, Padraig, all these great players, Rory and Darren from Northern Ireland, but to now have another one. I mean, it's the coolest thing.
It's huge. I mean, I can imagine. I think of myself when I was 12 and joining the golf club and playing my first summer of golf and playing the Tuesday and Thursday tournaments on my summer holidays. And I'm just thinking, when he won that, when Shane won the Open, I was thinking, imagine when I was 12 and a guy from 30 minutes down the street won the Open, not just any tournament, won the Open. And I was just thinking about all those 12-year-olds now in all those like small little clubs around the country, just thinking that could be me. And that's what. And Shane, by the way, and Shane knows that. Shane, like, he really respects junior golf and loves the small club nature. Still probably goes back and plays at his old club.
Oh, for
all
sure.
the time.
He's got a place. I mean, he's been over here for the lockdown. He's over, not far from me with our boy Stephen Grant, and golf courses here today just opened up, so I think guys are going to start to get out and start playing. So it's it'll be interesting to see who's the best musician golfer you've played with.
Timberlake's pretty decent.
Yeah, JT's pretty good.
Yeah, he is. He's pretty solid. He has his off days like we all do as amateur golfers, but he hits it smooth. He can putt well. He gets very frustrated with himself. Let's just say that. There was one time we played a game and we played one day, he was fine. The next day he just lipped out from everywhere. The ball was just going around doing 360s around the hole. We started calling him Justin Timberlips. He's a great guy too. Great guy, loves his golf. Just a dude. Yeah, he's probably the most solid.
And there's so many people. I mean, the celeb crowd in LA. I mean, there's so many guys at Lakeside. There's so many guys over at Bel Air and all the good courses. I mean, you're spoiled for choice out there.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty sweet. Obviously, some of the courses, unless you know someone, you can't get in. But there's definitely, like, I've been lucky enough to get to know a lot of lads, and even the public courses in California are great. It's always dry. It's 75 all year round. You can get out and have a knock, and spoiled for choice. There's always someone around to play with. I've definitely become a fair weather golfer. People always say you must be unbelievable at links golf growing up in Ireland. Nah,
you're not playing golf if it's raining.
No, not anymore.
So the new record, the new tour. I mean, I've been watching. No joke. I've been watching you on Instagram at night, and you've been saying the writing process. What's more difficult, writing songs or trying to play good golf?
Definitely golf. It's the hardest thing in the world. Oh God. To be fair, I always I'm not sure if I even want to be like a too scratch
What's
golf.
what's the current handicap?
Playoff 9.
Oh,
Which is kind of nearly good enough for me because I can solidly play to about that. And I just always, when I was younger, I always just wanted to get to a level where I could go out, have a few beers, enjoy it with the lads, have a bit of a laugh, and it become just, a hobby that I can be good enough at for the rest of my life. I don't really want to shoot. Well, I would love to shoot the lights out of it, but I hate when I play it bad. But luckily enough, I've gotten to the point now where there's more better rounds than bad ones, and
yeah.
that's where I'm at. But in terms of the writing songs, it's a completely different kettle of fish. Although they do, when I say when I write songs, it never happens the same twice, and I could definitely say that about golf.
So what type when you're writing songs, do you sit down and specifically say, okay, I'm going to write songs today, or are you taking notes? Are you putting stuff in your phone? I mean, how does it happen?
Yeah, I do a lot I'm one of the ones, I'm not sure if it happens a lot of late, but I'm one of those people that writes. I have a lot of like little brown books everywhere, little leather bound books, and do a lot of like writing little stories in it, and just to kind of help me when I go to sit down. And then if I've got lists of stuff, titles, little words that might kick off something else in my brain, stories, as I say. And then when I go to sit down and I start playing, oh, have you lost me?
No, I can still hear you.
Oh, I look terrible though.
That's
Hold on. Let me call you back.
all right.
Or call me back even.
All right. We will.
Oh, it's frozen.
It's frozen.
Okay, let's close down the app and call me back in a sec.
All right. We're gonna leave. Is he back? So we're gonna try and see if we can get him back real quick. Where is he? He'll be on there. Where is he? Let's see. We'll try and find him. There he is. We'll get him back. There we go.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and then when I go to sit and write a song, I can be like, it makes me think of that or that story that I wrote down, and then I'll look at it and I'll be able to actually potentially pull lines from that simple story that I've just written. Or yeah, it just kind of comes as you go. You're like, oh, this reminds me of that, or this kind of vibe. It's not like I've written a story about going on a night out and then just gone, oh, right, let's write a ballad. You know what I mean? Each memory or story's got, a feeling to it, and that's how I kind of write. Do a lot of like playing four chords in a row and then kind of start just singing random blah 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 over it, and then fingers crossed that stuff that comes out my mouth is pretty decent.
Yeah, I was talking with Brooks yesterday, and we were talking about the things that we miss on tour. And a lot of, I think what we miss about being on the PGA Tour is the people that you see. I mean, you've got your band and stuff. I mean, has it been hard? I mean, have you missed not like seeing your boys and your crew every day?
Yeah, I would have been, and I actually, as we said at the start, I would have been on tour right now with all that crew, and we'd had done a month long of rehearsals with the whole team, and everyone was getting ready, production, all the gear. We were just about to see the stage for the first time, the lighting and all that stuff, and my band, where everyone was so excited because we were just going to tour from now until like the first week of December. So that was me,
right.
That was us for the year, going around all over the country, all over the world on buses and planes, and the excitement of that. And then to be told, to get a call then and say we're actually cancelling the whole thing because this is more serious than we thought, it was quite upsetting, I'm not going to lie. And you obviously feel for the thousands of people who buy tickets and wait so long to see the show, and now they're probably not going to see it. But next year, and also from my side of things, it could be a good thing, maybe potentially. I'm going to write a lot of songs now, and maybe I'll come across an even bigger song than I had previously. We don't know, but maybe I will, and then maybe the tour will be bigger and better next time. And yeah, you can look at it from that end. But
what is the biggest single difference when you tour now on your own versus back when you were with One Direction and you tour? Because I actually, no joke, we took my daughter Miami, you're at the big stadium. I mean, I couldn't hear a word you were singing. It was just screaming. How different is it now versus back then?
Yeah, in terms of all of that, it's a lot quieter. The way I would look at it is, I think the fans, we were kind of like a similar age to a lot of our fans, or within 5 or 6 years either side, I would have said. And yeah, it was obviously that's what happens in fandoms and things like that. But I'd say that because we were of a similar age, they've kind of grown with us now. And yeah, my gigs are a lot quieter. I can go a lot more places than I could before in terms of getting around.
Can you go out to dinner and just like have a normal dinner?
Sometimes. I'm not going to say yes because it's not all the time, but I try my best. Like there's a lot of hat wearing and things like that. But I mean, it's definitely gotten a lot easier. But when I was younger, it was nuts. Yeah.
Everybody, obviously, I'm looking at all the people asking questions. Everybody's asking One Direction reunion.
I get asked this quite a lot, Claude, so I've got a good answer coming here. I know. No, just there's a lot of talk about it at the moment because there's like a 10-year the 10-year anniversary of the band getting together is happening this year.
Can you believe it's been 10 years? Does it seem like it's been 10 years, or does it seem like it's more?
No, absolutely not. It's nuts. It's strange. It's just like, I don't know. It feels like, sometimes it feels like it was yesterday. Other times it feels like it was 50 years ago. It's strange. But yeah, there's been a lot to talk about. But no, there's no reunion as such. We've just been talking a little bit more recently. Yeah.
What do you miss the most about those days?
Probably the madness, actually. You miss like. We're one of very few people that has seen hysteria and madness like it. So, I mean, when you have it and then you don't have it for a sec, you're a bit like, oh. But yeah, I guess like this. I mean, everyone's dream is to play to stadiums. I mean, you've seen it. It's just like, can you imagine what that looks like standing out?
I can't even begin to imagine what that was like. We were not far from the stage. It was in Miami where they played the Super Bowl.
That's right, the Dolphins,
yeah. They turned the stage kind of lengthwise in the middle of the stadium, and I couldn't hear anything. You were playing the guitar, and I was like, I couldn't hear the guitar.
So now I know for the last 10 years, no one's heard a word I've sung or played.
So did you ever get to a point? I was thinking, because you couldn't hear anything, you could have a bad night and it wouldn't make a difference.
Oh, God, I don't know. I hope not. I hope we were successful for some reason. But I mean, it was just so fun. The tunes were good and all that. And yeah, just got to do things that not a lot of people get to do.
Do you ever sing the old songs quietly by yourself?
Sometimes I feel like it'll come on like in the car, and I won't turn it off. I'll leave it on. There's especially that last album we did was an absolute cracker of an album.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes you get one. I don't like when people, like, sometimes I go to restaurants or something, or I'll go to bars or whatever, and the DJ or the owner of the bar thinks they're funny and they'll put like a tune on, standing, and then the whole place is looking at me, which isn't great. But you can't win every week, Claude. You can't win every week.
Well, we've taken up enough of your time. It's great to talk to you. Stay safe. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. And hey, keep your shirt off. I'll keep watching.
Claude, you're an absolute gent. Say hello to your dad, and I'll see you soon.
All right, pal.
Cheers, bud. See ya.
See ya.